most things, unless they're really, really small, are made up of a ridiculous quantity of atoms. And to count things, which is going to be important in chemistry, in stoichiometry at least, it's very difficult to count things in the old-fashioned way, discounting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not really going to work. Take, for instance, the amount of water molecules in a drop of water. If someone were to count them out, if you had the time, one by one, it would take, since the beginning of the universe, that person would still be counting right now, and they would not have even completed 0.5% of the total of a single drop of water. So in order to avoid counting forever and ever, people have devised a method of counting by weight. And in order to illustrate this, I'm going to use the example of chocolate instead of atoms. So let's suppose I have a chocolate factory and someone, let me take an easy example for now. Someone wants to buy some chocolate from me. Let's say I first ask for something easy, just like 10 pieces of chocolate. Well, that's very easy. I can just go in the back room, count out 10 pieces of chocolate. However, if someone comes up to me and asks for, say they don't want 10 pieces of chocolate, they want 7,821 pieces of chocolate. Unless I want to spend the rest of my day counting chocolate, it's probably best to use a different method of counting. And the best method to use is counting by weighing. And counting by weighing works by taking the average weight of a piece of chocolate. Let's say that the average weight would be 5 grams. The average weight of my chocolate is 5 grams. Now, that does not necessarily mean that every piece of chocolate weighs 5 grams. In fact, most of them probably won't weigh 5 grams. If I were to take out a whole bunch of pieces of chocolate and weigh them out individually, I might get 4.97, 4.96, 5.02, 5.07. Maybe I might get one that's 5.0. But the point is that none of them actually have to equal 5. It's the average that counts. Some will weigh more, some will weigh less. So in order to use my counting by weighing technique, I'm going to say I'm looking for 7,800 pieces of chocolate. And each piece of chocolate weighs, so one piece of chocolate weighs 5 grams. How many grams of chocolate I'm going to have to weigh out? I would just multiply this out. 7,821 pieces of chocolate. One piece of chocolate weighs an average of 5 grams. Chocolates cancel. I'm left with the units of grams. And this is equal to 5, 0, 1, 9, 3. So I would weigh out 39,105 grams. And if I have a scale, then that is much faster to weigh out than simply counting out 7,821 pieces of chocolate. But quite often in chemistry, I'm going to be doing the reverse. I'm going to want a specific quantity of atoms or chocolate, and I'm going to have the weight, and I want to know how many individual atoms or pieces of chocolate there are there. So to illustrate this example, let's say that in my storeroom of my factory, I have, 100,000 chocolate truffles in the back, just waiting to be shipped out to wherever. And then out of nowhere, I don't know, a time hole opens up, and Henry VIII shows up and starts eating all my chocolate. Nah, someone who's eating chocolate can't look that serious. So he's eating all my chocolate. And before I could capture him and make him pay and punish him for eating all my chocolate, he disapparates, because that's what all English people do. And so I go back into the storeroom, and I see that pretty much all my chocolate's gone, but I want to figure out how much chocolate I have left after Henry VIII ate all of it. And I find out that there is, let's say, 978 grams left. And supposing that these chocolate truffles had an average weight of, doesn't matter, say 6.7 grams. How many pieces of chocolate do I have left out of the 100,000 that were there? I have 978 grams. One piece of chocolate is 6.7 grams. And these are truffles. Yeah. And now I just do this division or multiplication, however people feel like looking at it. So these grams will cancel, and I don't really feel like doing this in my head. I'll take out my trusty calculator. 978 divided by 6.7. That gives 145.97, which means he was about to eat another one, started eating another one when he disapparated. How lucky for me. But that's the idea of counting by weighing. It's a more efficient method of calculating quantities of large numbers of things from weight. And in chemistry, this is the only way to count things. In fact, to be a chemist, you don't even have to know how to count.